My name is Joseph Visconti. I'm the executive chairman of Forza X1, and the evolution of sustainable boating is here. So there's a lot of companies that are working on this, and I feel like we are leading the pack and making it happen. I want to start off by telling you about our mission. When we set off to begin building electric boats, it was always about building a safe and reliable boat. So that was like priority one. Also, the roadmap was there with Tesla. You know, when Elon Musk said, we're going to build electric cars that look, feel, sound, act, and price like electric cars, that roadmap was there for us to follow. And we wanted a go-to-market strategy that was exciting. We initially started off with a multi-hull boat. We ended up with a 22-foot center console monohull, which is exciting. And I think, you know, from the time videos started to come out about this boat, our stock's been trading, and we've had, followers on social media, and it just is really obvious to us that this is the boat, the go-to-market strategy. And of course, as we start to feel that demand when we launch this product in Q4 of this year or Q1 of next year, we want that factory to be able to produce up to 1,000 boats annually to meet the demand for electric boats. So Twin V, which was the parent company of Forza X1, is a 30-year-old catamaran boat builder, and I bought the company 8 years ago. There's a gentleman here named Preston Yarborough who just celebrated his 25th year at Twin V. So Preston's one of the driving forces behind Twin V, and when the idea was hatched about designing and building electric boats, 2 days later, the guy's got this floor that is painted, the room's set up, he's got these cool stairs there. So we started to add motors to this 24-foot boat. And I'm on the phone calling EV suppliers. Can we get a couple of those electric motors? Yeah, no problem, 3 years. Because of the demand of the automotive industry, you couldn't get products and components. We couldn't find an electric outboard, so we initially were powering it with Mercury IOs, which is inboard outboards, the props on the outside of the boat. There's Preston with the batteries. We're starting to kind of daisy chain these batteries together. So there's a lot of technology, a lot of wires and connectors and circuit boards that go into it, and there was nothing on the shelf. We had to design, write the code, get the programming, and wire this thing together. This is our first 24-footer being backed in with one of our engineers. Now, we learned a lesson with this boat. I now know why car manufacturers don't do brand recognition when they're testing their new products. Things don't always go as planned. I always say that evolution with technology is not a straight line. So we were now Twin V electric. Where do we go from here? Well, we knew that 85% of the boats built and sold in the United States are with an outboard motor. So we need to design and build an electric outboard motor. We put an ad out. I meet Dan Norton, and Dan was chief engineer for a robotics company. And I said, Dan, can you design an electric motor for us? I can design anything. And plus, Dan was really passionate about, marine, and he had a history, and he was working on a marine product himself. So now we pivoted to electric power sports. The idea here was we're going to build outboard electric motors. We're going to hang them on the back of Twin V boats, and the electric motors are going to work, and we're also going to sell them to other boat manufacturers, and away we go. So I'm driving home in my new Tesla, and I'm bragging to my close friend, Joe Jagabon. He has Think Equity. By the way, Think Equity's raised over $50 million for both companies. Thanks, you guys. That is the fuel that allows us to do what we do. So I'm driving home, and I'm bragging about the frictionless experience about having this electric car. I ordered it on my iPhone. I never came in contact with anybody. And the whole car is operated with a cell phone and a screen. And he said, do you hear yourself? This is what you need to do, is build a fully integrated electric boat. I'm like, light bulb, yes. We are gonna go build a fully integrated electric boat. I'm talking about outboard motor, boat, interactive screen with a user interface, with an app that all works. Easier said than done. Here is the first image of an FX1, the first electric boat under the name of Forza X1. So this is our first real battery that arrives at Twin V. And the people that look like they know what they're doing are not with us. They're actually with the battery manufacturer. And there's Jim. I think Like, when I look at this picture, I'm thinking, is Jim thinking, should I have stayed retired? Here's our first Forza X1 Electric Boat. It's a Baycat. Now, if you notice that big black box right there, that's not a seat. That's a battery. And you got to understand what's happening. Like, the car industries are eating up every battery, every component. They're saying, I'll take 10,000, I'll take 20,000. And we're saying, we'll take one, we'll take two. We got the leftovers essentially early on. Now we've become a player somewhat. We're public, things are working, we're building boats. But early on, it was very difficult to get components to pull this together. Here we are, we got it at the ramp, we're ready to put it in. We got our brand new version 1 motor on the back. We got our big black box / seat battery. And there's no steering wheel on the boat if you look at that. You notice that? Shandon picked that out. That's like we don't have that anymore. We're putting the boat into the water. It didn't work. So we spent a lot of time sitting at the dock with our engineers sitting there playing with their computers, trying to get the props to spin. So it finally did work, and I said, this is kind of like historic. This is the first Forza boat. I want to drive this thing, okay? I want to like pilot this and captain this boat. This is me. This is like, I'm a serious, experienced EV boat captain. That was not staged, okay? That actually happened like 8 times. So we're always working in parallel paths. This is a deck boat that we designed. This is a deck boat with a green wrap. This is a FX1 center console. This is our 180 horsepower outboard motor. And here we are, we have some success. We finally got our dual hull FX1 in the water, and it's working, it's running, and the team is celebrating thumbs up victory. So Jim says, you remember that property we secured in North Carolina? Well, the governor wants to announce that Forza is coming to North Carolina.
A manufacturer that's building a new generation of electric-powered recreation boats will invest $10.5 million and create 170 good-paying jobs right here in the town of Marion in McDowell County, North Carolina.
So, great day, we went public. Forza is a NASDAQ-listed company trading under the symbol of FRZA, thank you, Think Equity. We've raised $25 million. We have almost $20 million in the bank, and we are just getting started. So we've got the fuel in our engine, we're excited, we got a product that we're going to market with, we're funded to begin building our factory, so it's full steam ahead. We signed an agreement with Garmin, which was one of the great technology companies. We developed Forza Connect, which is the app we were talking about with all the great interface technology, and we are enjoying the success of our F-22. A brand new version 2 motor in the water for day 1 of testing. Look at that new cool cowling. This is a serious operation, people. One Water Marine. This is important. One of the largest boat dealers in the United States. They have over 100 locations. They sold over 30,000 units in this past year. They generated almost $2 billion in sales. One Water Marine, the night of our IPO, became our largest non-affiliated shareholder at the IPO price. One Water Marine is the largest buyer of our Twin V boats, our partner, and One Water Marine put an order in for 100 electric boats. That's $12 million in revenue that we get to start off with as we launch our product. I got a call from the CEO and said, you know, I have to tell you, my team was down there. My guys are not impressed with anything. They've seen every boat, they've sold every boat, and they are super excited. We're thankful to have that relationship in place. Again, it's one more kind of check the box verification that we're heading in the right direction. Jim LeFew. Jim LeFew was the Vice President of Manufacturing for a company called Maverick Boat Group for 25 years. Jim helped grow that company. They had 4 brands, Cobia, Pathfinder, Hughes, and Maverick. They were building 1,700 boats a year at the peak before Maverick was sold to Malibu about a year and a half ago. That's 7 boats a day. Jim is an engineer. Jim is a lean manufacturing expert. And I used to call Jim and go over to Maverick and ask for advice, ask for help, guidance. And you know, he didn't need to talk to me. I mean, they were like the big $200 million company, and Preston and I were like pumping out 100 boats a year. So Jim retired and I wouldn't leave him alone. I called him, I said, you have to see what we're doing. Come over and help us. We need your leadership, experience, and background. And so we're proud to have Jim as our president and CEO. And without further ado, Jim LeFew.
Thanks a lot, Joseph. Thank you for that introduction. And as you guys can see, Joseph is the most enthusiastic guy there is out there, period. This is his brainchild. We're helping bring it to light, and we're having a great time, and we're making something spectacular here. So one of the things we started to attack is the entire value stream. So we wanted to take this holistic approach and do everything from the hull through the electrical systems to the motor to the user interface. That was really important. We controlled most of the value stream. First of all, when I arrived, we did not have CAD files that were operational. So our first hire, my first hire, was Greg McLogan. He took this picture and turned it into a CAD drawing, and this thing was cut on a router 2 months later. So at the same time, there's this unbelievable industrial park about 40 minutes east of Asheville, a town called Marion. It happened to have a lake right on it, and the first parcel was right next to the lake, so we jumped all over it and made it happen. So the lot is fully cleared now. We are doing a handover of the property next week in Marion. It is ours, and we will start building as soon as possible. Okay, first prototype to the water. Joseph alluded to that. Look at him in the background like a proud papa staring at the boat that won't run. This is one of the reasons. So we started off with a rotating pod. It works great in the lab, works great in air, and when you put it in the water, it does great donuts. So it would go in circles or it would go straight. It just wouldn't do both at the same time when you wanted it to. So we were in this funk. We were having lots of trouble. We couldn't gain any traction. And there's a reason for this. This is kind of what happens when you develop new products and break new ground. So we were certainly in that area called the Valley of Disappointment there. So what did we do? Well, we went to Amsterdam. We actually went to the largest electric marine expo in the world. Everyone knows Europe was ahead of us at the time. And we thought we were going to run into many silver bullets. What we found out was exactly the opposite. We would go to booths with fake cardboard engines with nothing behind it. And we were already well ahead of that. So we actually felt pretty good about it. We did sign an agreement with our ultimate motor provider, Cascadia Motion. If you order a motor from Cascadia Motion right now, it's a 14-month wait time. We are getting those motors monthly right now, so it really gives us an advantage. At this point in time, we pivoted back to a traditional steering type engine, and things started to click for us. Soon after that, this is the FX1 being infused at Twin V. First day on the water, October 28th last year. The boat would only go like 8 miles an hour, but we were thrilled anyway. We were so happy. A week later, Shandon reprogrammed it, 30 miles an hour. And then we finally got to the monohull. This is the first time we put 2 big batteries in the monohull, and we knew we had something. This is what people think of when they think of boat. It's a 22-foot center console. It looks like a regular boat. It runs like a regular boat. And we knew this was the vehicle that could get us across the finish line. This is a secret project we've been working on. We are electrifying a major manufacturer's pontoon boat. It's a perfect market for electrification. If we can make some hay in this segment of the market, we can really do something. So timeline, we've got lots of things coming up. We want to ship boats to One Water at the end of the year. We want to start doing consumer sales into the first quarter of 24, and we will complete the factory next year, and we will continue to iterate, improve our products, see what we can do to make them bulletproof. That's our mission over the next year or so.